Welcome to Yatim Khana and Madrasa Anjuman Kharul Islam's Pune College of Art, Science and Commerce Camp Pune 1. Myself, Dr. Arif Tamboli, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Electronic Science. Today we are going to study the topic which is called as monostable multivibrator using op-amp IC741. So monostable multivibrator is a very important circuit in control systems to control the output from one state to another state. So let us first of all go to the block diagram of monostable multivibrator and then theoretically we'll try to understand what is this. So if you look at this block diagram of monostable multivibrator, in a black square box, MMV monostable multivibrator using IC74 is written. Therefore, both power supply, that is plus VCC and minus VE, is applied to that block. The output, if you look at the output of the monostable multivibrator, it is written that output is HVL initially. Output is HVL initially, but in case of monostable multivibrator, when you apply the trigger, when you apply the trigger, in case of IC741, the trigger is negative pulse. When you apply the trigger, the moment or the instant at which you are applying the trigger, the output changes its state from HVL and goes to LVL. But as the name suggests, monostable, output will not remain in LVL state permanently. It will come back to its original state after some time, and that time is called TR. R means return. So this time is called T return time. So in this way, this is the explanation from the block diagram that monostable multivibrator circuit designed by IC741 is initially having output in high voltage level, and when you apply the trigger, that high voltage level state, which is monostable state, single state permanent, so that state can be changed by applying the trigger pulse, and the changed state will come back to its original state after the time. It is called T return. So this is from block diagram. Let us go for theory. What is the definition of this? Monostable multivibrator circuit is having only one state permanent at the output. Monostable multivibrator circuit is having only one state permanent at the output, either logic 1 or 0. So monostable multivibrator will have only one state permanent at the output. That's why it is called monostable. Mono means only one state. That may be either logic 1 or the 0. The permanent state can be changed. The permanent state can be changed by applying the trigger pulse. By applying the trigger pulse, but the changed state will return to its original state after some time, which is called T return. But the changed state will return to its original state after some time, which is called T return. Therefore, it is said that monostable. Mono means only one. Only one state is stable in case of monostable circuit designed by any IC. But that stable state can be changed to go to another state by applying a trigger. But that stable state can be changed to go to another state by applying a trigger. So after applying the trigger, the state will change. But again, after some time, the changed state will come back to its original position. But again, after some time, the changed state will come back, that is returned to its original position or state, and that time after which it is returning back to its original state is called T return. Is called T return, and in this way, it's a very simple definition. The circuit always maintains its original state at the output. The circuit always maintains its original state at the output. Now, the monostable, this circuit is also called as a one-shot trigger circuit. So, monostable circuit is also called as one-shot trigger circuit. You have to just apply the trigger only once. The state will change, and after some time, the state will come back to its original position, and that time after which it is coming back to the original position is called T return. And the circuit we are going to study. So definition is also very simple. From the block diagram also you can understand the definition. The monostable circuit's output is in HVL, that is the permanent state, that is the stable state. You can change this permanent state or stable state by applying a trigger pulse. So when you apply the trigger pulse, in case of IC741, we are applying negative trigger below zero. When you apply the trigger, the moment as soon as you apply the trigger, the state will change and go to another state, but it will not remain in that state permanently. It will come back to original state after some time, and that time is called T return. And in this way, this is represented from a graphical representation. This is the block of the monostable multivibrator, which requires plus VCC and minus V. Now let us proceed to the monostable circuit. But before that, as usual again, which are the basic blocks or which are the different blocks used in monostable multivibrator, that I am going to explain separately, and thereafter we'll combine all that and it becomes very simple to understand the monostable multivibrator. So basic concept, all of you know that if you have taken any battery of 5 volt, 10 volt, 12 volt, and if you connect the battery to the diode such that anode of the diode is connected to the positive of the battery and cathode of the diode is connected to negative of the battery. In that case, if this voltage is greater than 0.7 volt, diode becomes forward bias. Diode becomes forward bias because the applied voltage is greater than internal knee voltage, knee, KNEE, internal knee voltage, that is called barrier potential voltage. Therefore, the diode will become forward bias. But internal knee voltage or barrier potential cannot be killed, and it is 0.7 volt. Therefore, whenever the PN junction diode is forward bias, by applying the voltage greater than the knee voltage, the voltage across PN junction diode is always zero point 0.7 volt. So now look at this voltmeter. This voltmeter's positive is connected to the anode of the diode as well as positive of the battery. This voltmeter's negative is connected to the cathode of the diode as well as negative to the battery. But voltmeter is not showing the 10 volt of the battery. Voltmeter is showing 0.7 volt. Then the question comes, sir, where is the 9.3 volt gone? So the 9.3 volt is the voltage short circuited by PN junction diode because it started conducting after 0.7 volt. And this is very simple. So you have to remember this and you are aware about this basic knowledge of the electronics. Any PN junction diode, when you forward bias after applying 0.7 volt to that diode, the voltage above 0.7 volt of that battery gets short circuited, and therefore short circuit voltage is 0 volt that cannot be measured at the output in this diagram, and only the voltage that is called knee voltage or barrier potential will be displayed on this voltmeter. It is a 0.7 volt. So this is very simple. Now next, again same blocks, we are repeating basics of the operational amplifier. All of you know this, but here I have taken the reference voltages V1 and V2 little bit different because these voltages we are using in monostable multivibrator. So all of you know that if voltage at inverting pin of op amp, inverting means negative terminal, is greater than voltage at non-inverting pin of the op amp, non-inverting means positive, then at that time output voltage of the op amp is minus VEE. Here it is a minus VEE. So in this way here, output voltage of the op amp will be minus VEE. So why? Because voltage at inverting means minus terminal is greater than the voltage at plus terminal. Now look at this, zero point 0.7 volt. How much volt? 0.7 volt is V1 and V2 is how much? Minus 6 volt. V2 is minus 6 volt. Therefore, in this diagram, minus 6 is below 0. Minus 6 is below 0, very much negative. And zero point 0.7, even though it is a zero point 0.7, it is above 0. So the voltage V1 is greater than voltage minus 6 volt. Therefore, output of the op amp, you see here, the V out is in low voltage level. That is called minus VEE. And this is the basic of the op amp, which once again I am repeating here. Next case is what? If V inverting is less than V non-inverting. If V inverting is less than V non-inverting, or it can be read mathematically like this, V non-inverting is greater than V inverting, then the output voltage of the op amp V out is equal to plus VCC as shown below. So now we'll again see here what we have done. We have taken V1 as minus 6.01 volt. We have taken V1 as a minus 6.01 volt. So 0.01 volt is equal to 10 millivolt. 0.01 volt is equal to 10 millivolt. means this voltage is minus 6.10 volt and this is minus 6 volt. Now, if you compare these two voltages, number one, both voltages are negative. But out of these two voltages, minus 6.01 volt is more negative as compared to minus 6 volt. And it is more negative by just 10 millivolt. By just minus 10 millivolt, it is more negative. So in this way here, V1 is equal to minus 6.01 volt, V2 is equal to minus 6 volt. So in this case here, minus 6 volt is positive as compared to minus 6.01 volt, and therefore this voltage is greater. Voltage at non-inverting pin means positive terminal, and therefore output of the op amp, you see here graph very well, it is above x-axis and it is in HVL. HVL equal to plus VCC. HVL equal to plus VCC. So these two blocks are very important of the basic op amps as a comparator, open loop comparator. Output of op amp will be thrown to either plus VCET or minus VCET or either HVL to LVL depending on the magnitude of V1 and V2. So if V1 is greater than V2, voltage at negative terminal is greater than voltage at positive terminal, output will be in LVL. LVL equal to minus V, and vice versa. If voltage at non-inverting terminal is greater than voltage at inverting terminal, output will be in HVL. HVL means voltage level equal to plus VCC. So these are the basics of the op amp. And now then, after understanding that three blocks only, one is about diode, another is voltage at inverting is greater than non-inverting or vice versa. Then we will go to the monostable multivibrator using op amp IC741. So you have to remember that actual circuit diagram for the op amp as a monostable multivibrator is this. So you have to draw this circuit diagram, but I have divided this circuit diagram into different parts, and then it becomes very easy to understand. So now let us start from the beginning. Monostable multivibrator using operational amplifier IC741. Now after drawing the circuit diagram, what you have to do it initially, before turning on the power supply of the circuit, let us consider that the capacitor in is in discharge condition. The capacitor is in discharge condition, same like in the case of unstable multivibrator by using op amp. So capacitor, if it is in discharge condition, voltage across capacitor is equal to 0 volt as shown below. So try to understand the circuit diagram for a stable multivibrator by using IC741, that is op amp, and circuit diagram for monostable multivibrator by using IC741 op amp is 90% same. Only two changes are there that I will show. See here, this op amp was there in case of a stable multivibrator, it is here. This potential divider circuit was there in case of a stable multivibrator, it is here. This feedback resistor R and then capacitor C was there, RC, it is here. Their capacitor voltage VC was 0 volt initially there, here also initially 0 volt it is there. What are the two changes you see here? One change is diode D is connected in parallel to capacitor C. Diode D is connected in parallel to capacitor C in monostable multivibrator. This is one change. And second change is here, you have used a switch which is called push to on switch. We have used a switch which is called push to on switch, and this push to on switch is connected directly to non-inverting terminal. Directly to non-inverting terminal, that is positive terminal, and another terminal of the switch is connected to minus 12 volt, that is minus VE, and another terminal of the switch is connected to minus 12 volt, that is minus VE through the resistor R. This is another change, and this is the change. Otherwise the diagram for a stable multivibrator and monostable multivibrator is same. Now here initially intentionally you look at here, I have not marked any voltage over here and over here, means I have not written plus 12, I have not written minus 12 volt, because initially what I am trying to convey you that here initially let us consider that the power supply is not turned on. Initially let us consider the power supply is not turned on, means I am not applying plus 12 and minus 12. I am simply making the connections for the circuit. I am simply making the connections for the circuit, means taking op amp, taking R1 R2 potential divider, making this junction over here with the help of wire, connecting R and C, connecting the diode. So after making the connection, I am turning on the power supply. But when I make the connection, I have considered that my capacitor which I have taken is initially discharged. Whenever I make the connections, I have considered that my capacitor which I have taken is initially discharged. Therefore, voltage across capacitor is how much volt? 0 volt. And now after this, in the next step, we are writing that now let us turn on the power supply. And then in the next step, you will find out that here I will write plus 12 volt and here I will write minus 12 volt. So initially what we have done here, see, initially before turning on the power supply of circuit. So before turning on the power supply of the circuit, that's why plus 12 is not written here, minus 12 is not written here. Initially, before turning on the power supply of the circuit, let us consider that the capacitor is in discharge condition, that is Vc is equal to 0 volt as shown below. And this is our initial diagram as shown below. Circuit you make it, don't turn on the power supply and consider that capacitor is initially in discharge condition, that is Vc is equal to 0 volt. Therefore, before applying the power supply or before turning on the power supply, this terminal minus, that is inverting input terminal, is at output 0 volt. I have not written any voltage at the output, whether it is HVL or LVL. I have not written here any voltage at the junction of R1 and R2. I have written only formula because we don't know what is Vout. So here Vout you don't know, therefore we have not written any voltage over here. So this is the initial condition, you remember. Only we are considering capacitor is 0 volt before turning on the power supply. Vout we have not written anything. We have not written Vx anything. And then now as soon as I turn on the power supply, in the next step what you will observe that the moment as soon as I turn on the power supply, this voltage is 0 volt, but due to the feedback at non-inverting input terminal, non-inverting terminal, the moment as soon as the power supply is turned on, this voltage becomes slightly greater than 0 volt. Voltage at non-inverting pin becomes slightly greater than at 0 volt, and therefore output of op-amp will be thrown at plus 12 volt, because you know basics, voltage at non-inverting input pin when it is greater than voltage at inverting pin, output will be 12 volt. Therefore, in the next step, see here what we are writing. Now let us turn on the power supply. The moment as soon as you turn on the power supply, because of feedback at non-inverting input pin, the voltage at non-inverting pin will be slightly greater than this 0 volt, and output of op-amp will be thrown in Vsat plus, that is equal to HVL, that is equal to plus VCC. And initially, as in this circuit, monostable multivibrator circuit, the output of op-amp is in HVL. So let us proceed now next. When the power supply of the circuit is turned on, at that time, when the power supply of the circuit is turned on, at that time, number one, Vout is equal to plus 12 volt. And number two, the voltage across diode and capacitor is 0.7 volt. And diode acts as a closed switch with internal knee voltage of 0.7 volt. This state will be maintained unless and until we apply the trigger signal. So as I explained you here in this diagram before turning on the power supply, we have taken our capacitor is in discharge condition. We have not applied power supply here. Therefore, here Vout we are not written, here Vx is not written. Now let us apply the power supply. As soon as you apply the power supply, due to the feedback at non-inverting input pin, output will be thrown in Vsat plus, that is called HVL. And that is what I mentioned you here, number one, this. And now number two, what is this happening? The voltage across diode, that will see the diagram and I will explain you. So see here. In this diagram now you observe, as soon as we turn on the power supply, therefore I have written here now plus 12 and here minus 12. The moment as soon as I turn on the power supply, this voltage Vc is not now 0 volt. It is 0.7 volt. Why it is 0.7 volt? We'll come to that. So the moment as soon as I turn on the power supply, initially this was 0 volt. As soon as I turn on the power supply, due to this feedback voltage across at the junction of R1 and R2, this is slightly greater than that. Therefore, here there was 0 volt. So this was greater than 0. That's why output was plus 12. Now we'll come to this part. So here, why there is a 0.7 volt? So now it is very simple, because I have explained you the one circuit which is called your diode. See here, you apply any voltage across the diode which is greater than its knee voltage, 10 volt, 12 volt, the voltage across the diode will be always 0.7 volt, and that is what here happening here. Now in this diagram, when you turn on the power supply, at that time the output will be thrown to plus 12 volt. The moment as soon as the output thrown to plus 12 volt, this 12 volt gets applied through the resistor R to the capacitor C as well as diode D, because capacitor and diode are in parallel. Therefore, anode voltage of the diode will be very much close to plus 12 volt. But diode gets forward biased. But the diode gets forward bias, and voltage across the diode, that is at this point, anode of the diode and ground. Therefore, this point and this point are the same. So voltage at the anode of the diode with respect to ground becomes zero point 0.7 volt. Becomes zero point 0.7 volt, and this is very basic of the electronics. And here now, why the diode is shown as a closed switch? Because now diode is heavily conducting. Now diode is heavily conducting because voltage applied to the diode is plus 12 volt, and voltage required to force the diode into conduction is 0.7 volt only. Therefore, this diode is in heavy conduction, but the voltage across diode is how much volt? 0.7 volt. Therefore, this point goes to 0.7 volt, and this remains in plus 12 volt. And this will be the state which is called permanent state at the output, and that is called monostable. One stable state is permanent of 12 volt. Now this state of the 12 volt is going to remain stable, permanent, unless and until we don't apply the trigger pulse through the push to on switch to the circuit. So now you try to understand this very well. In this way, in the beginning, what we consider, in the beginning we consider that we'll fabricate the circuit, will not apply the power supply, but we'll consider that our capacitor is discharged. Therefore, this voltage will be zero. Diode is not shown as a closed switch or open switch. Simply diode is shown. Output is also not shown. This point voltage is also not shown. The moment as soon as you turn on the power supply, the moment as soon as you turn on the power supply, due to the positive feedback, means here the feedback at the positive point through the junction point of the R1 and R2, this voltage becomes slightly greater than that, and output of the op amp will be thrown to the HVL. And as soon as it goes to HVL, this HVL is applied to the diode. Therefore, voltage across diode becomes zero point 0.7 volt, and voltage across diode means voltage between anode and cathode, which I have shown over here. Voltage between anode and cathode of the diode becomes zero point 0.7 volt, and that zero point 0.7 volt is written over here. So voltage across the diode will become zero point 0.7 volt, and diode is conducting heavily, and therefore it is shown as a closed switch. So in this way here, this is the permanent state which is called monostable state after turning on the power supply of the circuit, and therefore it is said that initially, in case of a monostable multivibrator designed by IC 741, the output is in HVL. The output is in HVL. Now this will remain as HVL only permanently unless and until we don't apply the trigger. So now this you try to understand why this is 0.7 volt, why this is initially HVL, why the diode is now closed switch because it is conducting heavily. And in this way here, after applying this plus 12 and minus 12 volt of the power supply, this will be the initial state. And this in this state, the monostable means HVL state is maintained permanently. Now look at this diagram very carefully again. Yet we have not applied the trigger. We have not disturbed this switch at all. It is open only. Now let us imagine if I push this switch and if I short circuit these 2 points of the switch, what will happen? Now under this condition, you will understand that when the switch is open, output is in 12 volt. Because of that 12 volt, your diode is conducting, and voltage across diode is 0.7 volt. Voltage across capacitor also 0.7 volt because diode and capacitors are in parallel, and that voltage is shown at point over here, and it is applied to inverting pin. Now one more condition here supporting to you why this is plus 12 volt. As soon as this is going to 12 volt, R1 and R2 are the same. Now here we have written plus 6 volt because if R1 and R2 are same, this potential divider circuit input voltage is 12 volt, so this voltage is 6 volt. Now as soon as this voltage is 6 volt, come to this point, this is 6 volt. Now when this is 6 volt, voltage at non-inverting terminal is 6 volt. What is voltage at inverting terminal? 0.7 only. So compare zero point 0.7 volt with 6 volt. 6 volt is much more greater than 0.7 volt. Means voltage at non-inverting pin is very large than voltage at inverting pin. Therefore, output will maintain 2 plus 12 volt only. And that is why we have to consider initially, as soon as we turn on the power supply, this output goes in HVL. And when as soon as it goes in HVL, this potential divider circuit perform its job, convert that 12 volt into 6 volt at the junction. It is applied at non-inverting input. Initially our capacitor was discharged, therefore this point was at 0 volt. But now as soon as it has gone to 12 volt, then here, because of this diode which is conducting by the 12 volt, this voltage across anode of the diode is 0.7 volt. Now here in this diagram, diode and capacitors are in parallel to each other. Therefore, voltage across capacitor is also 0.7 volt. And this is what initial condition. Now, I hope you understood everything why it is written over here, why plus 12 volt is here, why 6 volt is here, why 0.7 volt is here, why diode is shown as a closed switch. So all the points I hope you understood. Now we will disturb the circuit by applying a trigger pulse. And let us imagine now this point is at 6 volt. Now this switch is open. This switch is open. This point is at 6 volt. So under this condition now, voltage at inverting pin is 0.7. Voltage at inverting pin is 0.7, which is the voltage across the diode as well as across the capacitor. So this voltage at inverting is 0.67 volt. Voltage at non-inverting is plus 6 volt. Voltage at non-inverting is plus 6 volt. And this state is going to remain permanently there only. Why? Because this will be permanently 6 volt as long as it is 12 volt. As long as it is 12 volt, it is forward biasing the diode by the 12 volt and voltage across diode is 0.7 volt. So this state is not going to change. That is called monostable state. Now, if you want to change the state from HVL to LVL, what you should do? So the logic is very simple. For op-amp, when output is in HVL and you want to convert it or you want to force it to go to LVL, why the output is in HVL now? Because voltage at non-inverting pin, that is positive pin, is greater 6 volt than voltage at inverting pin 0.7 volt, which is very less. Now, if you want to change the state of the op-amp from HVL to LVL, you will say what you want to do. You must force, okay, which voltage greater? Yes, 0.7 volt should be greater, means voltage at inverting pin should be greater than voltage at non-inverting pin. And when voltage at inverting pin means negative pin is greater than voltage at non-inverting pin, you will get succeeded in throwing the output of op amp from plus 12 volt to minus 12, means below. So to do that, how to do that now? Voltage at inverting pin is 0.7 only. Voltage at non-inverting is 6 volt only. So we want to change the output voltage from plus 12 to minus 12 volt. And we know the solution. What is the solution? Voltage at inverting pin should be greater than voltage at non-inverting. Then only output of op amp will go in LVL. So what we'll do, under this condition now we cannot change this voltage, because as long as this is 12 volt, this is applied through R to the capacitor as well as diode. Diode is forward biased, that's why this voltage is 0.7. So this we cannot change. And output also we cannot change, because as soon as we turn on the power supply, because of this potential divider circuit's positive feedback over here, this output has thrown into plus 12 volt. So it is also cannot be changed. So as soon as after applying the supply, this has gone into the HVL, and this condition is supporting now after turning on the power supply. How it is supporting? Look at the R1 and R2. Junction of R1 and R2, if you consider here 12 volt, this 6 volt will come here. If you consider this 12 volt, 0.7 volt will come here. And inverting is 0.7 volt. Non-inverting is 6 volts. Therefore, this condition is supporting. Non-inverting voltage is greater than inverting. So now we cannot change neither 12 volt nor 0.7 volt. Okay. Now what is in our hand? What we can do is here. We will connect a push to on switch to the inverting pin. We'll connect push to on switch to the inverting pin. One terminal of the push to on switch is connected to, non-inverting pin. And another terminal of the switch we have connected through the resistor R to minus 12 volt. Another terminal of the switch, this is a push to on switch. You have to simply push it and release it. So another terminal of this switch we have connected to minus 12 volt. Now what we'll do it here, this voltage at non-inverting pin is 6 volt. So we want to pull down this voltage. We want to pull down this voltage. Then only when we pull down this voltage, then only this zero point 0.7 volt will become greater. Then only 0.7 volt will become greater, and then only you will get succeeded in changing the output of op amp from plus 12 to minus 12. And that is why it is said you must apply a negative trigger. So pulling down the voltage at non-inverting pin below zero, pull down means below zero. So that is why here a push to on switch is connected. So as soon as you apply this, press this push to on switch, very simple, this minus 12 volt will go through this short circuit to this point. And this point, as long as this will be in press condition. So in the next diagram, I have kept this in press condition for some time. So you will understand, as long as this will be in press condition, this point which is at plus 6 volt will go to minus 6 volt. Why? Because this minus terminal of the 12 volt battery will get short circuited by this switch and it will come here. So voltage at non-inverting pin also will become minus 12 volt, and voltage at this junction will also become minus 12 volt. So that is called applying the trigger. But now for our understanding, what I have done, I have kept this switch in press condition only. But while applying trigger, you have to just press it and release it. Now just if you press and release, automatically this will go in minus 12, because for a moment you press this voltage is becoming minus 12. As soon as this positive voltage becomes minus 12 volt, you will start comparing minus 12 and zero point 0.7. 0.7 volt is positive above 0 and minus 12 is below 0. So minus 12 is much more negative as compared to 0.7 volt. So voltage at inverting becomes greater than voltage at non-inverting, and output will be thrown in LVL. So now let us go to that understandings. Now let us apply the trigger by pressing the push to on switch. Now let us apply the trigger because we want to change this state now. So what is the solution? Solution is here, this point's voltage must be, yes, must be very less as compared to this, or must be in negative. That's why let us apply the trigger by pressing the push to on switch. Yes. Therefore, the voltage at non-inverting pin is minus 12 volt. So this switch, when you press, the voltage at this terminal, that is non-inverting pin, it is going. I hope you can understand here, will become minus 12 volt and will become minus 12 volt. The voltage at non-inverting pin is minus 12 volt, and V inverting, which is 0.7 volt, I have written into bracket here. V inverting, which is 0.7 volt, yes, will be greater, means will become positive than V non-inverting, which is minus 12 volt. Than V non-inverting, because minus 12 volt is much more negative and 0.7 volt is much more positive. Therefore, V inverting into bracket I have written 0.7 volt is greater than V non-inverting of the minus 12 volt under press condition of the switch as shown below, and V out will be thrown to the minus 12 volt. In this way, trigger pulse changes. In this way, trigger pulse changes the output state from HVL to LVL. And see now the diagram very carefully. Intentionally, we have kept the switch in press condition. Intentionally, we have kept the switch in press condition. So minus 12 volt will go through the resistor R and this short circuited. So this point will come to minus 12. And see, we have written here minus 12. When I have written here minus 12 volt, this point is short circuited over here. Here also I have written minus 12. Here also I have written minus 12. Now as soon as I press the switch, this goes in minus 12 volt. As soon as this goes in minus 12 volt, op-amp will compare this voltage at inverting 0.7 with voltage at non-inverting. Now these two comparison, the moment as soon as op-amp compares these two, op-amp observes that voltage at inverting is greater because it is 0.7. Then voltage at non-inverting is minus 12, below 0. And op-amp immediately throws the output to minus 12 volt. Op-amp immediately throws to output minus 12 volt. And in this way, just by applying the trigger pulse, you got succeeded in changing the monostable, that is permanent stable state HUL to LVL. Now we have to see how long time this remains there, minus 12 volt, because as the name suggests, monostable multivibrator, there is only one state which is stable. And if you change that stable state by applying the trigger, the changed state will come back to its original position after some time, which is called T return. That is the definition which we studied. So we have to see that. But now here, for your understanding, I have kept this switch under press condition so that you can understand how this minus 12 comes to the non-inverting pin, how this minus 12 goes to this point, and because of this, that goes to minus 12. But remember, always trigger is just applied and then release, because that is why it is called push to on switch. You have to just press like a doorbell. We just press the doorbell and release it, and the bell rings. Here it is like that. We just apply the pressure on the push to on switch and we release it. So that is why it is called trigger. Now let us go to the next step. But the push to on switch is not permanently pressed. It is just pressed and released. So when switch is released by just pressing, suppose you press it. So you know now what is happening by pressing. This is becoming minus 12. When this becomes minus 12, op-amp compares these two input and output will be thrown to minus 12. Therefore, when you just press and release, op-amp's output will go in minus 12, that you confirm. When you just press this switch and release, op-amp's output will go to minus 12. From HVL to it will go to LVL, because as soon as you press this, whatever, for a fraction of second, for a fraction of second, if you press the switch, this point goes to minus 12. And then when this goes to minus 12, op-amp compares these two voltages and output will be thrown to minus 12. So that is one thing confirmed. So just press and release it, op-amp's output will be thrown to minus 12. But when you release it, then what will happen? We'll have to see it. So here, now see here, but the push to on switch is permanently pressed. It is just released. When switch is released, at that time V out is equal to minus 12 volt, no doubt. At that time V out is equal to minus 12 volt. Output has been changed from HVL to minus 12. Therefore, now when you press the switch and release the switch, see here, when you press the switch and release the switch, output has gone to minus 12 volt. Output change its state to from HVL to LVL, and the moment as soon as this is minus 12 volt, see what happens. R1 and R2 says that now this point is minus 6, because potential divider circuit, this voltage is minus 12. Therefore, this point is now at minus 6. And this is what here happens when you press the switch and release it. No doubt output changes from plus 12 to minus 12. But as soon as you release the switch, the potential divider circuit performs their job. They says that their input, now its input is minus 12, not plus 12. Therefore, here is not plus 6, it is minus 6. So this happens by just pressing the switch and then releasing the switch. Output will change its state from HVL to LVL, and this is shown by the graph at the output you see here. Initially, the output of monostable multivibrator remains in HVL, So this is there. When you apply the trigger, so this trigger means changing the voltage at non-inverting input pin below 0. Changing the voltage at non-inverting input pin below 0. We have changed it to the minus 12. So this trigger. So voltage goes in minus. The moment as soon as the voltage trigger is applied, output of the op-amp change its state from HVL to LVL. See here, this is the x-axis. It changes its state from HVL to LVL below x-axis. Now we want to see how long it remains there. That time is called T return, and TR means return, T means time. So it will come back to its original state after T return, and T return is again decided by you people, because you are changing the value of R1, R2, resistor R, capacitor C. All these four factors, like in unstable multivibrator, all these four factors are responsible for T return here. Okay, we'll see step by step. So this I think you understood, and this is what I explained you in the beginning. What is the logic of monostable multivibrator? Output of monostable multivibrator remains in only one state permanently, either logic or either logic 0 or logic 1. This state can be changed by applying the trigger to go to another state. But when you remove the trigger, after some time, the changed state will come back to its original state, and that time is called T return. So now we'll see here. So in this way, when you release the switch, yes, you understood that now this point is at minus 6 volt. This point is at minus 6 volt, and this point is at minus 12 volt. And now what happens here? The moment as soon as this point goes to minus 12 volt, now this minus 12 volt is applied through R to the capacitor as well as diode. Means anode of the diode is now at, yes, how much volt? Not 0.7 volt now. The moment as soon as this was changed, it was at 0.7 volt. That's why it is written over here. Now anode of the diode is at how much volt? It is applied as a minus 12 volt over here. Therefore, anode of the diode is at minus 12 volt, and therefore diode's anode is minus and cathode is 0. So diode will get reverse bias. Diode will get reverse bias and diode will behave as a open switch. So output of op amp when it is thrown from HVL to LVL, diode becomes reverse bias. Number one. Number two, when the diode becomes reverse bias, then what happens here? See, this point which is 12 volt is applied to now capacitor. Earlier also was applied, but diode was short circuited and it was heavily conducting. That's why capacitor was not charged. The voltage across capacitor as well as diode was remaining same, that is 0.7 volt only. Now the moment as soon as this goes to minus 12 volt, diode becomes reverse bias, it behaves open switch. And now the capacitor C will start, yes, charging in reverse direction. Will start charging in reverse direction from what voltage? From 0.7 volt, because the voltage was across capacitor was 0.7 volt initially when diode was conducting. That's why this is written as a 0.7 volt. The moment as soon as this goes to minus 12 volt, the voltage across diode, that is voltage across capacitor, was maintained here 0.7 volt. Now your capacitor will start discharging, because this terminal is minus 12 volt. So discharging, or in another language it is said charging in reverse direction. Discharging, or in another language what it is said, charging in reverse direction. So now the capacitor will start charging in reverse direction from 0.7 volt and it will go in negative. So first of all 0.7 volt to, first of all it will come to 0 volt. First of all it will come to 0 volt and then it will go to minus 1 volt, minus 2 volt, and like that. Now see what will happen. This point is at minus 6 volt. Now the diode is reverse bias. Therefore, charging action of capacitor starts from minus 0.7 volt, sorry, from plus 0.7 volt towards minus 12 volt. From plus 0.7 volt towards minus 12 volt, discharging action of capacitor will start, or charging in reverse direction you can say. And you will understand that from this diagram now. See here. The moment as soon as you apply the trigger pulse, HVL changes, goes to LVL. As soon as it goes to LVL, the voltage across anode becomes reverse bias diode. Diode behaves as open switch. And the voltage across capacitor C now goes in reverse direction below zero. And this is exponential charging. And in this way, when voltage across capacitor is going below zero, first of all, it will go from 0.7 volt to 0 volt, and then 0 to minus 1, then minus 2, then minus 3, then to what voltage it goes. So you will understand that now in the next diagram. So here you see here, now due to V out is equal to minus 12 volt, the upper terminal of capacitor and anode of the diode, due to this minus 12 volt, upper terminal of capacitor and anode of the diode becomes negative. Now diode becomes open switch and capacitor C starts charging in reverse direction towards minus 12 volt as shown in waveform. So which I have shown you the waveform. So here when this becomes minus 12 volt, what happens? It is written over here. You can stop the slide. You can read it again and again. Now due to V out equal to minus 12 volt, the upper terminal of capacitor here, this, and anode of the diode, because they are same terminal, becomes negative because this is in minus. Now diode becomes open switch, here we have shown, and capacitor C starts charging in reverse direction towards minus 12 volt as shown in waveform, means this waveforms here. Capacitor C starts charging in reverse direction the moment as soon as level changes from HVL to LVL, means minus 12 volt. So how long time it will get charged, we'll see that now. So because here this point when it is minus 12, this is minus 6. So you will understand definitely when capacitor charges in reverse direction from 0.7 to 0 it will come. Then 0 to minus 1, -2, -3, -4, and at one particular time, this will also become -6, and this will also become -6. Both terminal will become -6 because this terminal is the voltage across capacitor which is charging in reverse direction. And when the voltage at this terminal is just above the -6, for which we'll consider -6.01. -6.01 means just 10 millivolt greater than this. So now then you will compare these two, and then you will say now -6 is positive as compared to -6.01. And then when this is voltage is positive means greater, then output of op-amp will be thrown back to its original position, that is called your monostable state. And let us see now that now, due to Vout minus 12 volt, the upper terminal of capacitor and anode of the diode becomes negative. Now, diode becomes open switch and capacitors start charging in reverse direction towards the minus 12 volt as shown in the waveform that we have seen. When voltage across capacitor increases in reverse direction from -1 volt, -2 volt, -3 volt and reaches to -6.01 and reaches to -6.01. That is what I told you. Capacitor started charging in reverse direction. 0.7 to 0 it will go. 0 to -1, -2. And when the voltage across capacitor becomes -6.01, at that time output voltage Vout is equal to plus 12 volt. Here it should be plus 12 volt because V inverting -6.01 is less than V non-inverting -6 volt, or this you can read like this. What V non-inverting is greater than V inverting. Now you compare -6.01 and -6 volt. -6 is positive, -6.01 is more negative, even though it is by 10 millivolt, but it is more negative. And output thrown to plus, we said here it is by mistake minus written here. So please try to understand that. In this way, change state LVL will return to original state HVL, and T return is equal to, what? Time required to charge the capacitor. T return is equal to time required to charge the capacitor in reverse direction to the value of -6.01 volt, and T return is equal to time required to charge the capacitor in reverse direction to -6.01. And in this way, after that point, means when the capacitor charges to -6.01, it will come back to its what original position, because voltage at positive terminal -6 volt becomes greater than voltage at negative terminal, that is -6.01. And in this way the original state will come back, and that is called your T return. So T return depends on what? T return depends on how long time the capacitor will take to discharge from zero point 0.7 volt to 0, 0 to -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6 and -6.01. So discharging path of capacitor is what? This. So in this way this capacitor discharges. Therefore C capacitor, its value itself is also important. R is also important. Now in our example, why 6.01? Who decided that? The 6.01 is decided by the value of R1 and R2. Why? Because the voltage at inverting terminal was forced to how much volt? Voltage at non-inverting terminal, the voltage at non-inverting terminal was thrown to 6 volt, to -6 volt by which component? By R1 and R2 only. So you can throw this non-inverting pin not at -6, you can throw this at -9 also. If you throw it to -9, the capacitor will discharge from 0.7 volt to 0 volt, 0 to -1, -2, like that, -9.01. So R1 and R2 values are more important. R1 and R2's values are more important in deciding the voltage at non-inverting pin. Or this R1 and R2 you can select such that this is -3 volt also. So capacitor will take very less time to get it to charge to -3 point in reverse direction charge, of course, to -3 point something volt, 3.01 volt. So in this way R1 and R2 are also important, and therefore finally you will understand that this graph is also very simple. One more graph is there which I have given over here. Both the graphs are same only. Here the trigger pulse is having some width, and here the trigger pulse is very sharp. See, in this diagram the trigger pulse is very sharp, and in this diagram the trigger pulse is having a slight width, but doesn't matter this width because it is in microsecond only, or less than a microsecond. So as soon as you apply the trigger, of course negative, HVL changes and HVL goes to LVL. HVL changes and HVL goes to LVL. As soon as this trigger is applied, not only output of op-amp goes to -12, capacitor also starts charging in reverse direction, and this is the exponential charging of capacitor. How long time, to what voltage it will get charge in reverse direction? It will get, in our example, it will get charge VC -6.01. See here, the minus sign is over here. So it is a -6.01 volt. So in this way, this is the diagram. I have shown here one uh, circuit simulations here. The same is here, R is here. When I throw the switch here, before throwing the switch here, this output is in HVL 15 volt. And I am going to give one special lecture on this simulation. So now just you see the output direct. Output is in HVL 15 volt. The moment as soon as I apply the trigger, what happens here? See, output changes its state, goes from HVL to LVL, but does not remain there for a long time. It comes back to original state, that is called T return. And here, what is the T returns here? This is the T return. See, the moment as soon as I apply the trigger, output changes from HVL to LVL and capacitor start charging in reverse direction. See here, this. So the moment as soon as capacitor goes to -6.01 volt, the state will come back here. The state will come back here. And in this way here, the HVL when it comes back, then again we have to go to our first case, means here this one. So as soon as this becomes 12 volt, then again same thing will happen. This 12 volt is going to apply to this diode as well as capacitor. 12 volt is applied to diode and capacitor, then again diode will become forward bias. So diode will behave as a closed switch, and voltage across diode as well as voltage across capacitor will be zero point 0.7 volt. And in this way, this circuit will be there. Again, you will come back to original state. As soon as it is plus 12 volt, again here it will be plus 6 volt. And switch already you have released because you have just applied the trigger pulse and you have released the switch. So this will come back to the home position. Now, only within a 2 minute we will complete the derivation for the T return, which is very simple. It is a simple equation, not a derivation. So here you can see here T return is equal to, it depends on value of R, it depends on value of C, log to the base E, because capacitor discharges exponentially, log to the base E into bracket 1 divided by 1 minus beta. Why 1 divided by 1 minus beta? Why not 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta? Because here the capacitor discharges only in reverse direction. Capacitor discharges only in reverse direction. That's why 1 divided by 1 minus beta. And beta is nothing but R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Therefore, T return depends on value of R. T return depends on value of C and R1 as well as R2, because if you substitute beta is equal to R1 and R2, you will get. Now exponential log to the base E will be converted into the log to the base 10 simply by multiplying it by 2.303. So T return is equal to 2.303 RC log to the base 10 into bracket 1 divided by 1 minus beta, bracket close. So this is a simple equation. You substitute the value here and you will get entire T return in the form of RC as well as R1 and R2. And normally it is asked to calculate the T return in case of unstable multivibrator designed by C741. Value of R is given, value of C is given, value of R1 is given, value of R2 is given. So this equation you have to remember, and in this way I hope you have understood what monostable multivibrator designed by IC741. So it's very simple. Monostable multivibrator means mono means only one stable state is there. In case of IC741, it is HVL. You can change the stable state by applying the trigger and force that state to go to another state. But when you force the state to go to another state applying trigger, that state will return back or will come back to its home position after some time, and that is called T return. That is called T return, and that T return is decided by the time required to charge the capacitor in reverse direction unless and until the voltage at non-inverting pin means plus does not becomes greater than voltage at inverting pin and in this way I hope This is more enough. You can watch the slide again and again. Thank you very much for watching this video, and we'll go in the next lecture and I'm going to demonstrate you circuit simulation. We'll take the different value of R1, we'll take different value of R2, and we'll see that how T return can be changed. We'll change the value of R, we'll change the value of C, and we'll see that how the T return can be changed. Once again, thank you for watching the video. Thank you.